within which the subordinates can take the decisions on their own. So these business policies are nothing but they are guidelines which has been developed by the organization itself. What do you mean by a strategy? Strategy is derived from the Greek word forming a strategic vision, that is long-term direction and sense of purposeful and action. Hi and everyone, to one and all dear students. Hi George B.B.A, Commerce Faculty, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, MYSURU, the Temple of Excellence. Dear students, today I welcome you all for the session 1 of Business Policy for the Unit 1. In this particular Unit 1, we are going to study about the meaning and nature of business policy as well as the strategic management. What is business policy? We all know that business policy is nothing but it is the rules or the procedures or the guidelines which will guide the top level management or the senior management people in the organization, because in order to take a proper decision regarding the crucial and the very significant problems and the issues which arises in the organization, and thereby also for taking a proper decisions regarding the organization for a longer run. So students, it says business policy defines the scope and the spheres within which the subordinates can take the decisions on their own. Here, it permits the lower level management people to take the decisions on their own without consulting the top level management people. Because sometimes it is very much important on part of the managers who are in the lower level, where they have to take the decisions at an appropriate time. If not, the company or the organization will be under loss. Due to this, the managers or the top level managers, that is who are in the middle level, the managers who are in the middle level, they will be given a chance or they will be given the authority, that is the authority will be delegated so that they can take the decision regarding the business, and they can, without consulting the top level management, they can move further about the decisions which they are going to take, for that is for the betterment of the organization. Business policies are nothing but they are the guidelines, as I told you. They are the guidelines, they are the rules which is being developed by an organization. That is, in order to see that, in order to accomplishment the goals and the objectives of the organization, and that will be governed by the organization itself. So they define this business policy, they define do's and don'ts. What is that do's and don'ts? Do's means what are the things they need to do it, and what are the things they should not do while taking decisions regarding the organization or on any project. And that will be discussed within the organization itself. So here students, these policies are nothing but they are the guides to decision making, but they are repetitive as well as it is recurring in nature. So these policies, they are the decision making, and that will be addressed repetitive or recurring in nature, whereby the managers will be helpful with these policies. Because the managers will come across every day with numerous problems, numerous crucial problems or the issues which arises in the organization. So in order to take a proper decision, regarding that particular issues or the crucial problems or the significant problems which arises, and to deal with it and see that how to solve that particular problem in a very amicable way. So this policies will be more helpful to them. A policy is what? It is a verbal. Like I just say that you should come at 9 o'clock, or see that you produce 100 pieces of ton per day. So it is the verbal communication we say, or it can be a written one. It can be a verbal, or it can be written, or it can be the implied overall guide, right? Which will be setting up the boundaries, for the supply of general limits and the directions in which the managerial action has to take place. So this policy is the verbal. It may be a verbal one, or it may be a written one, or it can be a guide which will be helping in overall setup of an organization. So these business policies are nothing but they are guidelines which have been developed by the organization itself in order to govern its actions. And this deals with the acquisition of resources. That is acquiring of resources for the organization, within which the organization goals can be achieved. Only when there is the proper resources, then only you can utilize that particular resources to the fuller extent, to the maximum extent, and thereby you can reach your target, or you can achieve your goal or the objectives. Now coming to the features of business policy, students, it says if a business policy has to be an effective one, then what are the important factors, or we can call it as the elements, we can say, or the features which is required. First and foremost, it says it should be specific. The business policy should be specific. It should be definite. Whatever the policy you are making, that should be a definite one, or it should be specific one. Then only you can achieve your target or the goals. And it is also easy for the implementation. Otherwise, if your policies are not clear enough, or it is not specific enough, then it will be difficult for you on the part of the organization or the part of top level management to see that, to implement it in a proper way. And next thing, we have the clear. What is clear? Clear means the policy should be very clear. That is, it should be ambiguous. Unambiguous, that is, it should avoid the use of jargons and connotations. That means there should be no misunderstanding regarding the policies. So that means the policy should be very clear enough. It should be clear enough, thereby everyone will understand about the policies which is been framed by the top level management. So in the organization, all the people who are there, or employees from the top level to the bottom level, all the employees or the workforce should be make it clear that, and they should be able to understand what is the policy of the organization which is being made by the top level people. Then it should be appropriate. Whatever the policies you are going to make to your organization, or it is for your organization, it should be an appropriate one. What do you mean by appropriate? That means it should be connectivity to the organization. It should be suitability, or it should be suitable to that particular organization. Then only it can be a very good policy. And we have simple. It says simple means that particular policy, it should be very simple in nature. It should not be too much of complications, or where it is not able to be understood by the employees of the organization. So every policy which is being made by an organization, it should be a very simple one, easy to understand and also easy to implement. Then it should be a reliable or uniform. Whatever the policies you are going to make in the organization, that should be a reliable one. That means that everyone should accept that particular policy, and thereby the uniformity should be maintained. Everyone should have to follow the same policies all over the organization. And it should be stable one. It means the policies which you are going to make, it should be a stable one. That means there should not be any kind of the variations. It should not have any kind of variations. There should be stability in the policy. and you will not be, what happens if it is not stable? It will lead to indecisiveness and uncertainty in the minds of the people about your policies. Then it says it should be flexible. Flexible means there should be freeness, flexible according to the changes in the environment or according to your decisions. So this particular policies which you make, it should be free and it should be flexible. It doesn't mean that often you can change your policies, alter your policies and go on with it. No. There should be some flexibility so that any little changes according to your situation or according to the environment, you can alter it or you can change it. So student, it says policy is a study of the functions as well as the responsibility, as I told you, of the top level managers or senior management, and thereby whatever the problems arises, the crucial problems which arises and the decisions which you are going to take about your future of your business. And this particular policy, it deals with the future course of action, because everyone knows why you are making the policy. Policy is made because in order to see that you want to achieve some target, you want to reach some goal, right? You want to accomplish that particular goals or objective. That is why it says it is deals with future course of action where that particular organization wants to adopt it. Then it is concerned, this particular policy or the business policy, it says it is concerned with the mobilization of resources. As I told you, mobilization of the resources should be very much essential, and it is very important aspect on part of the policy, because you are going to utilize that particular resources to the fuller extent, to the maximum extent, and thereby you are going to achieve your target or the goal or the objectives of the organization. And choosing between the different alternatives available. When you are making a policy that you are going to decide about what are the policies you are going to make, then you are going to make a decisions regarding the alternative plans or alternative policies which you have. Now, here students, till now I am explaining about to you regarding the business policy, the features and the definition. Now let us see what are the examples. The examples of business policy. So you can see here the HR policy, then HR firing, employee profit training, transfers, promotions, then vendors, payment documentation, then quality policy, then corrective measures to be taken, what to sell, to whom to sell, when to sell, how to sell. All these are the important examples of the business policy. Now students, coming to the strategy. What do you mean by a strategy? Strategy is derived from the Greek word strategos. It is derived from the Greek word strategos or stratus. Stratus means, it says an army or an ego. Army or an ego. So this particular word strategy has come from the Greek word, or it has been derived from the Greek word, that is strategos or the stratus. Strategos or stratus means the army, or it is the ego, or you can say the leading or the moving. That means to lead. Strategy means to lead forward. So it says strategy is an action that managers take. Who is going to take this strategy? Who is going to formulate this strategy? Who is going to bring up this particular strategy in the organization? That is the managers who are there in the organization. They are going to take up these strategies. They are going to form the strategies or establish strategies, right, in order to attain one or more organization goals. Why they are going to establish, why they are going to form, or why they are going to formulate these strategies, in order to see that whatever the goals are there, that goals, it may be one or many goals, so that one or many goals to be accomplished, or in order to fulfill that or to reach that particular goals and organization goals of the organization, this particular strategies are being established by the managers of the organization. Now this strategy can also be defined as, it is a general direction. Strategy is what? It is a general direction. That is a tactics we say. It is a tactics or a general direction where it is set for the company and its various components. where it is been set, this particular strategy which is been established, it is been set for the company and to the other components in order to achieve the desired state of future, in order to see that you whatever the desired state of future, that is whatever you want to achieve, whatever you want to reach, for reaching that you are going to implement this particular strategies in your organization. So strategies results from detailed strategic planning process. How you are going to form this strategy? Strategies are nothing but they are the guidelines or they are the actions which has been put into force, and thereby this results in detailed strategic planning. Now this strategy is all about the organization, that is integrating, bringing everyone together, all the departments together. It may be the HR department, finance department, production department, marketing department, sales department, right? So like this, various departments. So all these departments are to be brought together and integrated. So integrated organization, bringing all the activities of that organization and utilizing and allocating of the resources, that is the scarce resource which are available in your organization and within the organization environment in order to meet the present objectives. So this particular strategy is all about saying that the integration, that is bringing everyone together, bringing all the departments together in order to see that there is a coordination, integration. Only when there is a coordination, integration between the departments, then only you can achieve your goal or you can achieve your target or your objectives which is been specified by the top level management, right? So this is the strategy where it will see that all the departments have been brought together, integrated together, as well as all the activities of that particular organization have been brought together, and thereby you are going to use the resources, the scarce resources which is available in your organization. You can see that you can fulfill the objectives of your organization. So while planning a strategy, it says it is very much essential to consider the decisions are not taken in vacuum and that may not act taken by the firm which is likely to be met by the reactions from those affected. It may be the competitors, it may be the customers, it may be the employees or the suppliers. Students, this strategy is a very significant, it is very important aspect because it says it is not possible to foresee its future. It means this strategy is very, very crucial and a significant aspect because you are not going to predict what is going to happen in future. So you cannot predict what is going to happen in the future. So without a proper foresight, without a proper idea about the future, it says the firms must deal with the uncertain events. The firms, what they have to do? They have to deal with the uncertain events which may arise in the organization, right? And which may consist of the business environment. Now, strategies also deals with long-term developments. So, this strategies which has been formed or which has been established, it is also dealing with the long-term developments of the organization rather than routine operation. Strategies are being established in order to see that you want to achieve something, you want to fulfill something, you want to accomplish something. So in a longer run, and the strategies is not being formed for a short period or for the routine operation, that is for the daily operational work. So it deals with the probabilities of innovation. So you are going to form a strategy for innovations, finding out new things, coming out with new things or the products, right? And the new methods of productions which you are going to take. So what are the strategies has to be followed when you want to produce the product or when you want to invent some new product, or what are the new strategies or the methods you need to adopt in your production, as well as the new markets which has to be developed in the future, whether you want to reach to the international market or whether you want to reach the national market. So whether your product should be there in the market in the national level or in international level, like this. This strategy is also a well-defined roadmap of an organization. It is just like a roadmap. So roadmap means, no, you want to reach here. So here if you put the Google map, it will show you this is your destination and this is your point of starting, right? So from here the Google, it will show you how to reach. It may be like this to reach or like this to reach. So it is nothing but the route map. We call it as a route map or the road map of an organization. Strategies are nothing but they are the road maps of an organization. They'll tell you how to go about with that particular strategy and see that how to accomplish that particular task or that particular activity. So it defines the overall mission, vision and the objectives of the organization. This strategy will define you what is the vision of an organization, what are the missions of the organization and what is your objectives of the organization. So here the objective of strategy is what? What is the main objective or the main target of the strategy is to see that to maximize the organization's strength. Maximize the organization's strength because every organization has the strength and the weakness along with the opportunities as well as your environment, that is the threats, environmental threats from outside. So this strategies is to maximize the organization's strength. Only when the organization has lot of strength in it, when it is very strong enough, then only it can overcome all the problems, all the issues which arises in the day-to-day of an organization. It may be internally or as well as externally, from the external forces or from the internal forces, and to maximize the strength of the competition. So only when you become strong, you can compete with your competitor. Otherwise, it is not possible. If you are showing the weakness, you will be out of the market one day. And your rival competitor will take your place of your market. So always the strategies helps you to see that to grow in a stronger manner. It will tell you these are your strength, these are your weakness, these are the threats and these are the opportunities. So making use of your strength, see that you grab the opportunities as well as face the threats and see that you can remove your weaknesses. So strategy is a short bridge, the gap between where we are and where we want to be. So strategy is what? It is like a bridge. It is like a bridge. See, it is like a bridge. So here we are and here we need to move, right? So we are standing here and we need to reach here. So that's what this strategy is. So strategy is where we are and where we want to reach. Now students, having understood the meaning, the definition of strategies, now let us understand the 5 tasks of strategic management. It says forming a strategic vision, that is long-term direction and sense of purposeful and action. It means this strategy is there in order to show you the way, it will guide you, it is the tactics where it will help you how to reach your future, and for the purposeful action and how it has to be implemented. Secondly, it says setting the objectives, converting the strategies, that is you convert the tactics or the strategies which you establish, that is into visions or into specific performance, and thereby the outcomes of it will be achieved in the organization. Then implementing and executing the strategies, whatever the strategies you are established, that should be implemented and it should be executed. Then only you can reach your target or the goal. Then evaluating the performances and review situations and corrective measures has to be taken. Now once you are done with your strategies, once you have implemented strategies, it is not that, yeah, I finished my work, I have the strategy that will go on. No, You cannot do that. So what you have to do is, once you have already implemented strategies, it says you need to evaluate the performances, how the performance is. So it is like same like in the class, the teachers or the lecturers, they'll be evaluating the students. They'll be evaluating students, giving them first test, second test, first internals, second internals, right? Then we have midterm exams, all this. So likewise, why we are giving so many exams and why we are giving so many tests? In order to see that, to evaluate the performance of the students, whether they are improving or not, whether there are chances of improving or not. So in the same way, here also the strategies also, when it is implemented, it should be carefully evaluated regarding the performance. Then you should also see the reviews, what is the reviews, and if there is any kind of deviations from the action plan, then it should be corrected. Now coming to the term policy, it says it should not be considered as synonymous to the term strategy. So you can see the differences here, the difference between a policy and a strategy. What is a policy? What is a strategy? They say that policy should not be considered as a synonymous but to the term strategy. Then policy is what? It is a blueprint. It is a blueprint of the organization activities which are repetitive as well as it is a routine in nature. So this policies are the blueprint. It is like a blueprint. When the question paper having the syllabus been framed, the blueprint will be there for the whole syllabus. So what are the chapters, then what are the marks being allotted, which are the areas where you need to be specialized. So each and everything, the blueprint will be there. So in the same way, in the organization also, the policy is like a blueprint for the organization for its activities which is been conducted, and it is a routine work in nature. Whereas strategy is what? It is concerned with those organizational decisions. Strategy is the organizational decisions which have to be dealt or faced before it is been in the same form. Policy formulation is responsibility of the top level management. Who is going to frame the policy? It is the top level management people who is going to start or who is going to implement the policy. While as strategy, it says it deals with the routine works and daily essential of the effective and efficient running of an organization. But whereas strategy, it says it deals with routine or the day activities or daily activities which are essential for the effective and the efficient running of an organization. Without strategy, he says you cannot deal with the organization activities which are more essential as well as which can be more effective and which can be more efficient. So therefore it says strategies deals with the strategic decisions which is being implemented. Now what is policy? Policy is concerned with both the thought and action. Policy is the thought, what we think about, and the action, what we need to put or what we need to insert. But whereas strategy, it is concerned with mostly with the action. Strategy is not the thought, but you are going to implement that particular strategy into action. So policy is what or what is not to be done. Policy is what to do and what not to do. That's what I told you in the beginning. Policies, it will define do's and don'ts. So here it says what is or what not to be done. But whereas a strategy, it is a methodology used to achieve the target by a prescribed point. So it is a methodology, it is a method or the procedures which you are going to adopt in order to achieve your target or the goal. So dear students, so these are all the topics which was a very important one on this aspect of the introduction, that is the meaning as well as the definition of policies, the business policies, then regarding what is the features of policies, then the features of strategy, what is strategy, each and everything I have explained to you in this particular topic. Hope you understood the topics which are covered to you. So finally, I would like to conclude this session saying that please have a break, sit for a while after the class, just recall the memory. What are the points and the explanation which I explained to you in today's session? Just recall it. That will be helpful for your examination. Saying this, I will be leaving the session now and see you in the next class. Until then, have a nice day. Stay home, be safe and take care. Bye-bye. Thank you, students.